In today's What If episode, I'm going to go with a two-parter episode that will look at two questions. Number 1, what if all mainstream Digimon had attack option cards? Meaning, what if there was an option card of Pepper Breath and Nova Blast, in addition to the already existing Giga Destroyer and Gaia Force? With the second question being a follow-up for, what if having that specific Digimon on board gave you reduced play cost for that option card? Strap in for some fun today because there's going to be a lot of option card discussion for this What If episode. And if you enjoy these types of videos, do consider subscribing to the channel and hitting that notification bell for my future content. Option cards have always shown some reference to a Digimon. Gaia Force, Hammer Spark, and Cocytus Breath. The list goes on. But in that regard, does anyone find it strange that Needle Spray, an option card that references Togemon, is in some regards better than Flower Cannon, which references Lilymon? While better is subjective, you can't deny that there have been many different cards like Flower Cannon at this point. Cherry Blast, Blast of Disaster, Green just suspends stuff. A lot. And before I continue with what if attack option cards, let's recap and summarize what a majority of option cards each color does. For red option cards tend to delete Digimon of a specific DP threshold or extra security checks. Blue typically looks at bouncing Digimon to hand or memory gain of some sort. Yellow, DP reduction or security recovery. Green heavily focuses on suspending Digimon. Black can be a combination of de-Digivolve or blocker related. And purple, a tribute to do destructive damage or recursion. In general, only a handful of Digimon actually have attacks as option cards. But I honestly thought it would have been interesting if every mainstream Digimon had attack option cards for each form. And like Bandai, I'm going to go over specifically the Agumon lineup and flavor in some of other mainstream Digimon. Agumon, Digimon's mascot for the franchise, could have had an option card like Guilmon's Pyrosphere that would have allowed you to delete a Digimon with DP of 3000 or less. 3000 DP could be a reference to many things, including the newest Adventure 2020 series where Agumon effortlessly blows away Argomon. Greymon is another Digimon that could have had an option card that costs 3. But this option card might have gone more in line with previous concepts I discussed in the channel with Evolution Release. When this option card is played, delete a Digimon with 6000 DP or less. In the grand scheme of things, option cards are becoming cheaper and cheaper to play with better effects. Do you see many old set option cards making appearances these days? Not really. Knowing Metal Greymon and War Greymon already have featured option cards, let's look at some other Digimon. Gabumon could have had an inspired option card of Blue Blaster that literally strips the bottom evolution source of one of your opponent's Digimon for 1 memory if the Digimon is level 4 or lower. But let's be real, having memory boost was really nice. Garurumon inspired? Stun a Digimon for attacking or blocking for 2 memory, since again, where Garurumon inspired Kaiser Nail and Metal Garurumon inspired Cocytus Breath. Honestly, I would love to see power creep for the option cards for Digimon, since Giga Destroyer gets an upgrade from the starter deck to the recent set's Giga Storm. But now, it's time to move to the next part of this two-parter What If episode. In the present world of Digimon, there are option cards that already have additional effects other than their main, while there are certain cards that require conditions to be met, i.e. Final Zubugon Punch, Judgment of the Blade, and 3 Musketeer option cards. 3 Musketeer option cards can be played without regard for color if a 3 Musketeers Digimon is on the battlefield. But what if option cards received a reduced play cost if a Digimon specifically tailored to its option was on the field? That is, with Gaia Force, what if instead of just deleting a Digimon, you were able to reduce the play cost of it by 4 if you Digivolved into a War Greymon that turn? Not only does the option card delete any Digimon, but when meeting a specific condition, the cost of the card is greatly reduced. But for this, there are a wide variety of caveats you could put to the card. Maybe the caveat is, if your Digimon Digivolved into War Greymon this turn, immediately play this card for its reduced cost of 4, and as its when Digivolving effect, delete 1 Digimon on the battlefield. This prevents you from utilizing any effects that the War Greymon may have. No security checking, no blocker deletion, no blitz. Alternatively, the caveat could be, if your Digimon Digivolved into Starter Deck 111 War Greymon, you may play this card immediately for a reduced play cost of 4, even if your opponent has 1 or more memory. But there are a few issues I have with reduced effects like this. Sure, you're restricting it to a specific War Greymon, and you can play the option card even if your memory goes over to your opponent's turn. But who the hell would run Starter Deck 111 War Greymon? Of all the War Greymons that exist in the red color, this War Greymon is arguably my least favorite for the fact that its memory cost is too much, and the effect for getting one additional security attack for every 2 evolution sources never felt enough. Versus Option Card Negation, Blocker Deletion, and Blitz. For similar board wipe cards, would you be comfortable with reduction effects like this for cards like Trum Sword for Piedmon, Kokaida's Breath for Metal Garurumon, Wyvern's Breath with Dynasmon? Funnily enough, I would have listed Flying Bullet here, but considering a Beelstarmon already gets to play an option card of 7 or less for free, it's already kind of built in. In general, I think Bandai designing option cards that force you to play specific Digimon for better benefits might be interesting. But the real question is, what is the perfect balance between play cost reduction and what Digimon need to be present? Let me know your thoughts on this topic in the comments below. As always, this is Digi-Panda, logging out.